All right, I'm here with head track and field coach Rick Witt and the distance medley relay winners from last week's NCAA Indoor Championships. Coach, your team took second place at the Indoor Nationals. Just talk a little bit about what that means for your program.
Well, as I just mentioned before we started doing this interview, I think that's it really talks about our whole team. Second place is as good as we've ever done at UWSP, and we thought we had a good team this year, that we had a chance to be in the top four, but when you looked at the top four teams, there were four outstanding teams. And whoever was going to have, the best day on that particular day was the team that was going to win. And we're just glad that we were able to make up a little bit for some disappointment that we had at our conference meet, where we ended up getting third, and we actually thought we had a chance to win. But I think it's an indication of the strength of the WIAC when the team that was third at the conference championship can end up being second in the country. It's a little bit of an indication of how strong this conference is.
Mm-hmm. Coach, your team was ranked number one for 2 straight weeks this season by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. What does a ranking like that mean for your program?
Well, I think it's good. I think rankings like that are probably more for you, Mitch, and the publicity that you can get for rankings and that type of stuff. But I think it's a good indication of the teams that are really the strongest, because that ranking does measure total team strength. And if you will notice that out of the top 3 teams, at one time or another, all 3 of those teams were ranked number 1 during the course of the year. And so I think it gave a pretty true feeling of what could happen. And I think we had an opportunity to maybe be the best team in the country, but on that particular day, North Central was.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk to the DMR guys here a little bit. Phil, just about you, you ran the anchor leg in that DMR. Just talk a little bit about what was going through your mind as you took over there.
Well, before the race, my strategy was just to stay relaxed and save something for the last 400. And Texas Trinity ended up opening up a huge lead, and I got the baton in third, moved into second right away. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't really thinking about going after the leader. I was more just worried about the guys behind me, because he was just so far ahead. So I was feeling great with 400 to go, and I started my kick mostly to get away from Nate Steinmetz, Oshkosh's anchor. And as I was running, all the fans were going crazy, screaming at me that he was coming back. But didn't really, to my eyes, didn't really seem like he was coming back at all. He just seemed so far ahead. And it wasn't until about 150 meters to go that I kind of thought there might be a chance. And then going into the last straightaway, I just complete focus and was just sprinting as hard as I could just to try to win. And getting him right at the line was probably the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm. How about the rest of you guys? What was going through your mind when you saw Phil take over on that last stretch there?
Well, Mitch, I want to throw something out that kind of made a difference here, is that, we did have the fastest time in the country going in on this, but the way the national schedule kind of played out, there were some big decisions to be made, because both Adam Lang and Dave Litzheim were in the 800, which happened to be the event right prior to the distance medley. So we were kind of forced to make some decisions there on what we're going to do. And so I think it was even a more impressive feat in the fact that Adam gave up his seat in the 800 to run the leadoff leg in this DMR, which, other than a practice 1200, he'd never run before. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people thought we were kind of nuts, maybe throwing a freshman in and putting him in a position of having to come through big time at the national level. But to be very honest, I wasn't really worried too much about Alex. I mean, I've watched him for a couple of years at the state meet, and he's always run well when big meets were on the line. So David decided, he wanted to try to make a run at the 800, that was our best chance for our team, was to try to do some things, on all of the events. And so to be able to win this thing with not necessarily the team that everybody thought was going to be the best team, I think is really special to have it done that way.
Mm-hmm. Dave, what was going through your mind when you thought you'd maybe have to do that?
I thought that, like Coach said before, that it was going to be the best decision for the team overall. Mm-hmm. And during the race, I was sitting up in the balcony. All the teammates were down below. I was talking to my family. And when Phil got the baton, obviously there was a considerable lead that Trinity had. But after a couple laps, I kind of went down and decided we should be with the team. And with 400 to go, we could kind of see the Trinity guys started looking back, which really isn't a good sign. So he slowly started to die. And Phil just started closing down the gap. And with that last straightaway, it was probably one of the most intense moments of my life, and I wasn't even a part of the race. So that just goes to show how important that was to us and how awesome it was.
Excellent. Well, you guys have a few weeks off here and then start with outdoor right away, so good luck the rest of the way, guys.
Thanks.